has been renamed to Amrit Udyan. The BJP has hailed it as yet another indication of the government realizing Naya Bharat.
इस साल पूरा भारत आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है, तो उसी की सेलिब्रेशंस को टू मार्क दो सेलिब्रेशंस द प्रेसिडेंट हैज decided to collectively name all the gardens of राष्ट्रपति भवन as अमृत उद्यान. जितने भी राष्ट्रपति भवन के gardens हैं, उन सबका मिला के नाम कर दिया गया है अमृत उद्यान.
So no separate names, it will all be called Amrit Udyan. The president is likely to inaugurate this on the 29th of January before the gardens are thrown open to public viewing between the 31st of January till sometime in March. Maria Shakil joins us with more details. Maria, clearly this is going to stir up yet another political storm. Some political parties have already started reacting.
Yes, and we have started getting reactions coming in from the Congress party to begin with, Anand. But if you look at it, Anand, I mean, there were multiple gardens in that entire garden area that we see in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Of course, it will be open for public viewing from tomorrow onwards for a period of 2 months. It's quite befitting for India when it's celebrating its 75th year of independence, and it's also the year of Amrit Mahotsav. Then why have any garden or anything named after the Mughals? The history of India is replete with how the Mughals, their role in Indian history has not been very glorifying, and hence it is all befitting for the government to go in for this change. And as the press secretary announced, Anand, that it was the Rashtrapati, the present President of India, who went ahead and made this announcement, and it's only from tomorrow that these celebrations will begin. But lots of reactions have started coming in, and of course this government will be accused of being on a name-changing spree.
Well, more importantly, this is the President's decision. It's the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So the President has said that no garden will have a unique name or a separate name, and everything will be called Amrit Udyan. And this is to portray the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and, of course, the Amrit Kal, the next 25 years. It does not reflect any particular identity or civilization per se. It's a very neutral name. Amrit is nectar, and it's a glory period for India. So where is the objection coming from, and what is it that the Congress party is saying, or the opposition is saying?
Yes. So Rashid Alvi of the Congress party has responded. There has been no official comment that has come from the Congress as yet. But, the comments that have been made, Anand, even in the context of Kartavya Path that we saw, that why was it changed from Rajpath to Kartavya Path. So these are areas that has seen political back and forth between the government and the opposition parties. So on similar lines, we can expect some kind of reaction, but it will be a very careful, tightrope walk for the Congress party, because it has been renaming of the entire gardens, that it will be collectively known as Amrit Udyan, and rightly so. And will the Congress party be saying that, Mughal gardens should continue to be continue as Mughal gardens, and the remaining part of the garden area can be called as Amrit Udyan? That is something that we'll wait and see. But for the moment, it is the Congress party. No official reaction that has come in, but yes, Rashid Alvi, one of the leaders of the party, has responded.
Well, Maria, stay with us on the phone line. We've got a tweet coming through from Manjinder Sirsa of the BJP. Manjinder Sirsa has come on and tweeted that thank you, Modi ji. That's what he said. Picture of a changing India, and thank you, Modi ji, is what he has tweeted, where he has said picture of a changing India. Mughal Garden and Rashtrapati Bhavan will now be known as Amrit Udyan. Thank you, Modi ji. Manjinder Sirsa ji is with us on the phone line. Namaste and Jai Hind, Manjinder Sirsa ji. You have welcomed this move by the President to name the entire gardens around the Rashtrapati Bhavan as Amrit Udyan. But the opposition is up at arms कि Mughal Garden का नाम क्यों बदल दिया?
देखिए, मैं अगर आपको इसको संक्षेप में समझाने की कोशिश करूं, तो मान लीजिए हमारे बड़े बुजुर्गों को किसी ने बुरा भला बोला, कुछ बुरा भला उनके साथ किया, और हम उनकी फोटो उठाकर अपने घर में टांगेंगे, तो ये कायरता का प्रतीक होगा. लोग कहेंगे कि अब देखिए, डरते पहले तो इनके बाप दादों के साथ उसने ये किया और अब उसकी फोटो टांग के उसकी पूजा भी करते हैं. जब हमारे भारत की अपनी संस्कृति है, हमारे अपने नाम हैं, हमारा अपना कल्चर है, तो हम क्यों किसी के नाम के ऊपर रखें, और वो भी वो जो गुलामी के प्रतीक हों. ऐसा कोई भी आदमी क्यों ऐसा कहेगा करने को? और सेकेंडली, प्रेज्यूमिंगली फॉर द सेक ऑफ आर्ग्यूमेंट, आप विदेश जाते हैं, मैं आप ही से सवाल पूछता हूँ, आप विदेश जाते हैं, अमेरिका, कनाडा, और आपसे कोई पूछता है ये मुगल गार्डन्स का मतलब क्या है, बताइए, आप उनको क्या समझाएंगे? कि एक मुगल आए थे, उन्होंने जबरन हमारे मुल्क पे आके हमला किया था, जबरन हमारे लोगों को धर्म बदला था, बहुत कत्लेआम किया था, इसलिए हमने फिर उनके नाम से मुगल गार्डन्स रख लिया। क्या हम ये कहेंगे उनको? तो हमारे पास अपना भारत की संस्कृति है, या हमारे पास कुछ ना हो रखने को?
Right. But this is also a neutral name. It's to mark 75 years of our independence, and that's what the Rashtrapati Bhavan has said. I have Karthi Chidambaram with me. Karthi ji, namaste. How would you want to respond to this decision by the Rashtrapati?
I've just heard about it from your correspondent. I think this is totally unnecessary. If the government wanted to name something anew, they should have formed a new garden. They could have created a new garden and given it a name befitting the 75th year of India's independence to mark that. So why go through this renaming spree? I mean, this only betrays the churlishness of this government. I mean, do they want to obliterate a certain part of India's history? I don't understand that. Any reference to a certain centuries of India's history is going to be obliterated. However uncomfortable some parts of history are, we have to accept that history. So we can't keep going through this renaming of consistently. If you want to please create something anew and name it as you deem fit.
But it's not just one portion of the gardens. All the gardens of Rashtrapati Bhavan have been stand renamed. So it's not just one particular aspect of the Mughal garden which has been renamed. All gardens now will be called the Amrit Udyan.
Why rename the names which everybody is familiar with? Why don't you create new gardens? Why don't you go create some go to a new area which has been derelict? Redevelop it, create a more modern and a more ecologically friendly garden, and give it whatever name you want to name it. What is this idea of renaming things?
Because this is the Rashtrapati Bhavan, its premises, the argument is that it's the president's prerogative, and the president has done it as to mark 75 years of our independence. So now this is India.
The president has got absolute prerogative. I understand the president has got absolute prerogative. I understand the government is in a majority, and they can advise the president to do as they deem fit. But my point is, why go through this renaming? If you want to do, why don't you create something anew?
But there is only this much space in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The garden space is already there. The argument is why resist? Why resist something which is just to mark 75 years of our independence?
What is this positive message we are going to get through this? What is the benefit? Is it by renaming something?
The renaming is not for today. The renaming is for also the future generations, the next 25 years. I'm just asking you. I would have asked Manjinder Sirsa to respond, but allow me to just play devil's advocate for a bit, Karthi ji. You are entitled to your point of view. Manjinder Sirsa ji was on the phone, but the phone line is dropped out. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. And I'm asking that this is also that.
I personally am not in favor of this renaming spree. I think each name has got its reason why it had a particular name. If the government chooses to name something and wants to name something, they must create some new infrastructure or a new entity and name it. That's my point of view.
Okay. Right. Karthi ji, thank you. Thank you for speaking with us. Let's also listen in to what Congress leader Rashid Alvi had to say.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ये आदत है कि वो समझते हैं कि सड़कों का नाम बदल दो, शहरों का नाम बदल दो, मुगल गार्डन का नाम बदल दो, और यही उनका विकास है। अपने आप कुछ करने को तैयार नहीं है। अपने शहर बसाओ, अपना गार्डन बनाओ, जो नाम रखना चाहो रखो, लेकिन इसी का नाम उनके यहाँ विकास है। तो क्या राष्ट्रपति भवन को डिमोलिश करोगे? ये भी अंग्रेजों ने बनाया था। जिस मकान में प्रधानमंत्री रहते हैं वो भी अंग्रेजों का बनाया हुआ है। लेकिन जो आने वाली सरकारें हैं, फिर इन्होंने नाम बदलना शुरू कर दिया, तो आखिरकार ये कड़ी कहाँ जाकर रुकेगी? ना समझ लोगों के हाथों में देश आ गया है।